Hello everyone, welcome back once again to UXCELLENCE, UXCELLENCE.org. My name is Carlos Ripeta Ortiz, you can call me Charlie, and today we are not going to have a class per se. We're going to review a really interesting article that I found on LinkedIn talking about the golden age of the UX. It's saying that the golden age of the UX is over. So I went through and I read it, and I think that it's really interesting. I wanted to share with you and just express my opinion about in which current situation we are now living as a product designers. So let's go straight up to this article. I found this on LinkedIn. Person is, sorry if I'm misspelling correctly the name. It's called Michael Malewich.medium.com, and the title of the article is Golden Age of UX is over, and actually it's a question. So it's not a declaration. We are living in a post-designed era, and here we have this data visualization chart, and as you can see we are right here. So we are going downhill, and after that hill there's nothing, so we are going to go and just fell out on the cliff, and I don't know what happened later. I think that is pretty much, nothingness and emptiness. So that's the current situation that we are living according to this article and the perception of this person. It needs to be said, the UX industry is over. It was nice, was it? What it lasted, but it's time to say our goodbyes. Now, that doesn't mean we will end up without designers and with clunky, horrible products in the future. UX will still happen, fortunately. The principles of UX will stay. What dies is innovation and the core of that industry based on exploration and learning. There's a big differentiation here. He's not talking about the UX here along these lines, but he's saying that what is going to die is that exploration and learning, because right now everything has been learned, and that exploration has ended because everything is already on the web. Okay, let's keep reading. We are always thinking designers are crucial to success of an organization. Well, maybe it was the truth in the past, but it's not anymore. Design driving, said out loud, now sounds even kind of funny or pretentious or fake. Well, I think that if I have to compare, for example, how many years in the digital industry has been driven toward development, if I have to compare that with design driving, I think that development, have more years than us, so to speak, right? All the 90s and 2000s, and even the first years of the 2010, I think that all the companies were, exploring and just taking care, and they thought that it was, and actually it was important, but they were convinced that the most important thing was how are we going to develop this digital product, and what type of technology are we going to use. I'm talking about what happened from the back-end perspective, type of language and framework. And at some point, yes, it's true that obviously that's important because it's what actually makes the product, work properly. But I would say that maybe the last 8 years, at least here in South America, nevertheless, I have worked in the United States, I have worked in Europe, and I have been working with people around the world remotely. But I mean, I think that at some point you can understand, or at least I have a perception of the kind of global situation about what was happening, in different points of the world, because of the multicultural teams that I was working with, right? I think that at some point UX has been going around for the last close to 40 years. And if I have to put a percentage or a number in which of the 100% where we are right now, I think that we are close to the 10% of the exploration of the UX. One important thing is that obviously the UX depends of the environment, and the technological environment have been moving along really fast for the last 20 years or so. So the user experience have changed a lot because obviously the platform that we are using are way too different. That's one thing. And another is the mindset of the companies. In the past, on the 90s, 2000, 2010, until the 2010, until that point, everything was development driven. And the user experience is like, I think that they were thinking about it, but more from the UI perspective, okay, we are going to hire a designer, we call it at the time the digital designer, just to work on the look and feel. That was pretty much. Here it says design driving, says out loud. Now even sounds kind of funny, pretentious, or fake. Yeah, I couldn't be more disagree with this statement. And there's another data visualization chart here, and it's like UX design fundamentals by mid 2024. This is going to be here on the bottom of this column. So it's just a tiny piece of the pie, I would say. Should you quit? If you are a beginner, I don't know, maybe like a junior person, this may be to be the last moment to start learning traditional UX and get good fast. You are still going to need this foundation in the new reality. I don't know. I think that one thing that is happening on this article is that he's kind of describing the new reality. That is that the companies will no longer require our professional duties. So if you are a beginner, yes, you can get the good fat stuff, But if you are you have more seniority, it's going to be kind of difficult. Wait, hear me out. So we have another graphic here. Majority, money driving, basic UX. This is what I think that what we think that is the importance of UX, and this is the basic UX. Everything is money driving. What is the most important thing for a business that has a digital product? An app or a website. UX, wrong, money. And actually, I concur with this. I agree with this statement in the sense that, and one thing that I have learned in the last, I would say, 5 years or so, is that with the product designers, we don't just design things. We don't just recollect the data, analyze that, digest and put it into wireframes and into UI, and then we do the usability test. No, what we are doing, and I use this word that is mindset, but actually is far beyond that. It came from here. It came from within. It's like what I call the hard code. I mean, that's the process. That actually is the good practices, and we are the persons that are going to take any digital product to another level in the relationship between the user experience and the business requirements. That means that we, the product designer, we are the person that are going to take the money on the table. Any success, like just the opposite of that is saying this article, a digital product success is going to come from the user experience. It's going to come from that. The question that you have to ask yourself all the time is, why this user is going to use this platform or is going to give the money to this platform that I'm about to design or I'm designing, and not to another person, another product, another business, another app. Why is he going or she's going to give their time to my design? And that's the key question. It doesn't care what is happening from the backend perspective. I mean, at least not for the user. It's important for us because they have to have an accurate architectural base from the backend perspective. But to the user, it's not important at all. The most important thing is the user experience. And we are the persons that are designing that specific user experience, okay? It came from the understanding, but from the business. We have to take the product to another level. Elon Musk crowdsourced a free logo for his X platform on Twitter. I made an example of this. There's another article, I think. I wanted to show you a small part of how these processes often started. A single image made from an Unicode character was picked, then slightly tweaked and avoid copyright issues. Then the animation of the logo was made with a Ship and Banto template. So from this point on, what he's talking is, okay, I mean, we don't need designers right now, and we don't need developers either way. At some point, it's like, yeah, there's everything that we need is out there on the web. We can buy design systems, we can buy libraries, we can buy frameworks. We have pretty much everything, all the code already in a pack. So we don't have the physical person or kind of the brain, the human brain to create something in the beginning. With that statement, I mean, at some point, I would say that yes, it's kind of truth. There is some truth to that, but as an empiric proof, there were a lot of companies that came to me in the same situation. And let's make this example. So we have X number of millions to build this platform because we had a lot of understanding about the product. We thought and we felt that we didn't need a pro designer, and we just hired a couple of developers, and we bought this framework, this library, and then the UI library, and we kind of did the user research on our own, because I mean, we have all the knowledge about the product, so we knew what type of user persona were going to use this, blah blah blah. And 1 year after, they came to any product designer like me and said, we need urgently help, because it seems that the user doesn't identify themselves with the platform. So at some point, when a person is investing millions of dollars in a platform and trying to save, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 salaries in a from a product designer, or to build a product designer team, a UX UI team, at some point they realize that it's not like that, It's not like that. There's some difference between a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and any type of car that is mass produced in line productions, I mean, there's some different. There's one specific person, there's one person that thought out that from the beginning to end about the design, every single detail make a difference, And for that, if you are thinking that AI, a library, a design system that you can buy for $1,000 or maybe less is going to save your product and just make some little details, changes, you are ready to go. I would say that in the standard situations, no, that is not going to happen. It could work to have an idea, but at some point you need to go deeper, okay? And that person is, the product designer. Every single product is like a person, it's a whole universe. Look, sticky notes, now pay us. And he's talking about here, the glorious 2009. I think that at some point he's referring that, okay, on that specific time frame, there was the golden age of the UX and everything and it's true, because there wasn't a lot of information about what we do. The person that had that knowledge, it was like, wow, I didn't know that there was the best practices, and I didn't know how actually we could do this and have this type of information from the user personas and the whole UX UI process, right? So, and that information wasn't on internet. So that's why I think that at some point he's talking about that, the glorious 2009, the true revolution, the agencies overbilling, using useless process to charge more and that fancy stuff. Yeah, I think at some point, we took advantage of that. It was something that we had to do, like refine and tune up the real process that we had to do, At some point, yeah, I mean, it's a business, so I don't know. So humans are fast learners. And what is saying here is, patterns were established, design systems were created, everything is there. That's what I was talking previously, right? And you need a UI. There's less need for UI because using a pre-made kit is cheaper. All the companies have the same type of mindset in the beginning. We have to save money. Where can we save? Well, pro designers. We don't need a designer. We have everything there. And then, it's like terrible situation because the product is not working, It could be a situation that actually, yes, it could work, but along the way, in a long-term project, you need to hire a pro designer. So my recommendation all the time to the company is the best thing that you can do is invest money and time and find the right person to build a usability UX UI team. Then it's about the AI thread. We have the AI, we have the design system, we have the UI kit, we have the frameworks, we have the library. So, I mean, and on top of that, we have the AI. But, the AI is another thing that we're going to talk for another class or another episode. because I think that actually we is something that is going to change our life, obviously. Or I don't know if going to change, because everything is changing all the time, but it's going to improve our work. It's not AI against us, it's us with the AI. AI is a tool, it's not a threat. I want to talk about the mindset, and here is then write about it from our own perspective. You need to be curious and explore stuff, not just move rectangles. Totally, 100% with this person. Then write about it from your own perspective. Share the journey. Yes, exactly. 100%. So we have to understand that we must use the tools. We have the good practices, but it's not only about that. We, the pro designers, are the person that we are creating from within. No, it's not only about the mindset. Use our brains in a linear sort of kind of way. We are the person recollating the data, processing that data here. It came from within because it came from empathy. Not only empathy from the user perspective, but from the business side. And then translate that in a visual language. That's what we do. It's not only create and move rectangles. That's totally accurate. We are the person that are creating the user experience from within. It's an artistic way to express our empathy with the user and with the business. That's what we do. Okay, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you. Please leave your comments, share your thoughts about this specific article. I will leave the link on the comment section as well. And see you on the next time. Share, subscribe, click the bell. And let me tell you something. Life is a user experience, and we are the designers only. Thank you very much. See you next time.